And actually yesterday I did a live on Snapchat and Twitter, and there were some questions that you guys threw out. And since we have the doc here for a short period of time over our lunch, I just wanted to kind of throw those questions out and have the doc kind of address them.
Sure.
Again, Doc, one of those questions from one of our older generation peers were, what is it about this generation that they get caught up into the twerking world as far as women and not respecting themselves? Could you touch a little bit on that?
Psychologically, the music and the videos that's out there right now plays a psycho path of, if I act this way, if I look this way, I can get this result. So the younger generation now don't think about rules, regulations, and morals and ethics. They only think about the end result. This is what I need, this is what I want. And so the music and that industry, and then the freedom of everything, with no discipline at home and school and everything else we can talk about. Just let the child be. And so they're just wild like that. But they have the end result. What is the end result for them? A lot of times it's money, relationships, and so on. No different than the older or any past. We all want the same thing.
Right.
How they go about doing it is a lot different than what we do. Back in the days, we used to take our time, get to know a person. And now it's like, let's text, like you, all right, let's meet. Right?
So there's no work.
There's no work into it. And then when they get to that partner, then the man's hormones, because they looking sexy, and man's hormones is kicking off. Women's desire, motives, and ethics, hey, let's get together. And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Which makes the older person feel like they're outdated and being left behind. Yeah. Which in actuality don't feel like that. This is just different. The younger crowd will turn back away after they be used up a little bit.
Yeah. And so as you're speaking on this generation of twerk world, things of that nature, it seems that also too there was a question from one of our younger generations that's saying, you know what, the opportunities with social media and everything else are endless, so Correct. Is that a bad thing that we want to go out and do the things that we're doing?
It is. It is a bad thing in the context of social makeup. Socially, there is no child development. It's just free for all. But in technology, if you're starting a business, it's awesome. So they don't know how to distinguish the two, socially versus business world. If you can focus on technology in the business world, then it's a global community. The money's endless. Right. But in a social network, because there's no child developing, you think that what you see on videos like pornography and all of these movies with all of those things, you think that's just the norm. Which, wow.
And you see how great this is, right? It's so much information just from those two questions. And I have one more that was really crucial and that came from the male's perspective. As far as the woman was, you talk about, the growing up. The younger generation that's even under us sees what's going on social media, and they think that that's what it is. So they don't understand how it was back in the time. Right. So speaking of back in the time, what is the identity of a woman, again, because you watch the Cosbys, you watch the Jeffersons, in those TV shows, you rarely even saw them. The closest thing to sexuality was in the bed and kissing and dancing. Right. Now you got reality TV shows where you're fighting, literally having sex, and then we're not even going to get and touch into the gay community, the things of that nature. So
desires.
Exactly. Yep. So that question for that young man was pretty much, how do we bring back those morals of having everyone understand that privacy, it is something that is respecting and not trying to have everyone just be in your business.
It's hard to say futuristic, but I can just simply say the mentality of the individual is what's going to drive that. If you're a church-going person and you have morals, because of the scripture defines that, then you're going to act totally different than someone who doesn't go to church at all and watches football and pornography and is out in the community doing their thing. And when you have the two opposites come together,
Right.
then you're gonna have conflict. But again, child development doesn't show them how to resolve conflict, because growing up as a child with the mom and dad in the house, that identity shows them mom had messed up, dad, this how dad resolved it, dad messed up, this how mom resolved it. Nowadays, it's like, you messed up, I'm gone.
That simple.
That's simple.
No work.
Look sexy with another man, and then the man just wants to be loved. Now, are we talking about all men? Not necessarily.
No.
We're just talking in general terms. So yeah.
And again,
To answer the question, it goes back to the individual, and then that will outline the future of it all.
and again, this is why this is going to be so important this Saturday, guys. Again, doors will for seating and paying at 7:30 doors, and it starts at 8 o'clock. You do not want to miss it. There are limited seats. There's 100 seats. We tried our best.